welcome back to another episode of Pokemon Knowledge. On today's episode, I want to talk about one of the most discussed topics in the entire hobby, and that's just the uncertainty of the Pokemon market. Now, this conversation is nothing new. A million other channels and a million other people, and including this channel, have talked about this exact topic. But with that said, anytime you talk about the uncertainty of the Pokemon market, you really need to have updates and look at whatever the current market is doing, because really the current market is going to dictate a lot of the thoughts when it comes to the uncertainty of the Pokemon market. So in today's video, that's the topic we're going to try to tackle. Tackling this is not easy because it just involves a lot of speculation and it involves trying to predict the future. Because if you're going to talk about the uncertainty of Pokemon, you have to be talking about the future. Because, of course, that's where the uncertainty is going to lie. And a lot of that uncertainty is not going to just lie within the prices of cards and the prices of packs and the prices of sealed product. A lot of that uncertainty is going to lie within the actual collectors themselves. Are we going to continue to see a lot of the people that have entered the hobby recently stay? And more importantly, the lifeblood of this hobby, are we going to continue to see new people enter the hobby or re-enter the hobby? Because anytime you think about speculation and you think about future demand, that's one thing you will need. You will need people in the hobby to continue to drive the demand. I would say about 90% of the private conversations I have with people about this hobby, this question always gets brought up. What do you think the market's going to do? Do you see prices crashing? Do you see dangers with people hoarding sealed modern product? Do you see dangers with the flood of graded cards that are going to come back? And there's all these questions, and I think they're fantastic questions, and they're the important questions to ask. But what I'm actually starting to notice more and more is I'm not really seeing anybody ignore these questions. I'm seeing a lot of people actually talk about these questions and almost embrace them and talk about them as not of an if it will happen, but just a matter of when it will happen. But I think that's where the huge uncertainty is, right? The uncertainty is the when, but we're not seeing the drop. And I think everybody's sitting back waiting. And we've talked about it, and I've even talked about it on this channel. I said, we're probably going to see hype for Pokemon go, it was through Evolving Skies and then go to Celebrations because it's the 25th anniversary set. And then we're going to see that hype carry on to Christmas time. But what I'm already starting to see happen, especially when it comes to the more exclusive products, is that demand is still crazy. And if anything, you can make the argument that demand is higher. And where I say you can make the argument is when you look at how quickly Pokemon Center is selling out online. And Pokemon Center, yeah, maybe it is starting to get botted pretty hard now. But, you look at the Pokemon Celebrations Ultra Premium Collection. Those things were impossible to get. Very recently, as of the recording of this video, the Fusion Strike Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs dropped. They were only on the website for 10 solid minutes. So if you weren't able to get your pre-orders in after that first initial 10 minutes that they were up, they went out of stock. But with that said, in that 10-minute window, anybody who actually did do the pre-orders were able to get them. So that is a little confusing, but it also dropped at 11 a.m. Eastern or 1 p.m. Eastern time on a random Wednesday. So it did drop at a weird time, so probably a lot of people just didn't know it happened. But the point of this is how much demand we're still seeing for these products. And I think a lot of people, especially when you think about just Celebrations, right? When you talk about Celebrations, people say, well, prices are going to instantly drop because it's not a huge set. It's not going to take a lot of work to pull all these cards. But you see a lot of Celebrations product, readily available pre-orders. People are able to get it. A lot of a lot of ETBs were on shelves, a lot of collection boxes, but now we're still seeing a ton of demand for the Celebrations Ultra Premium collections. So either people really, really want those gold stars, or people are almost at the point where they don't even care about the cards in the set and how easy it is to finish that set. Maybe we're just seeing the market of change and develop into something totally different, where people are just in fact extremely enthusiastic still about the hobby, not just from a flipper standpoint, but from a collector standpoint. And the reason why I say that is because when you look at Pokemon Center and the Ultra Premium collections, when they dropped, there was a limit of one per person, and people still struggled to get those. And I don't know how many people were just, doing the limit of one just to instantly flip it on eBay. I feel like a lot of people wanted that one Celebrations Ultra Premium collection to add to their personal collection, whether it's sealed product or they just really wanted that gold Pikachu and that gold Charizard card. I think we're just starting to see people get really frustrated right now. And they're not even getting super frustrated because they're not getting product. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. But I think we're just seeing people start to get really frustrated that they've been calling for the market to drop for a long time now. And it's really not. And yeah, I'm sure you could find certain spots of the market that's dropping. But overall, we're still seeing like an extremely strong demand from any kind of price points that really make sense, especially when you're talking about very ultra modern stuff. You could just go back to Sun and Moon base. We'll leave Cosmic Eclipse, booster boxes at $475. We'll leave Unified Mind booster boxes at $360. Keeping in mind, those are the last two Sun and Moon sets. Just for this video, we'll ignore that, even though they're super new. And we'll just talk about Sword and Shield and on. Sword and Shield base set booster boxes, recent sales, $200 on eBay. $200. That is a set that came out in January of last year. It's not even 2 years old yet. And booster boxes prices are already double what people were buying them at. You look at even like Rebel Clash. Rebel Clash recent sales of booster boxes on eBay, $160. That is a very lackluster set. And then you look at, okay, maybe people could say, well, you can make the argument that those are starting to get quote-unquote older sets. Well, look at super modern products. Look at the demand that's still there. The Marnie Premium Collection. Those things, crazy hot. People are killing for those. We're going to get those new Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon special collection boxes are going to come out. Those are going to be hot. Celebrations Ultra Premium. Those are hot. Celebration Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs are hot. Fusion Strike ETBs are hot. Chill and Rain Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. The Evolving Skies Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs. All these things are still in demand products that people are still buying out. And not just buying out very quickly. And I think something very important to at least keep in mind when it comes to these more exclusive products, and especially like Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, a lot of people's arguments when it comes to investing in modern is that your price point will not be as good as somebody who maybe picked up a lot of product from distributors. This is where Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs, goes against that argument, goes against that norm, because the cheapest price anybody can get those Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs is at whatever the price is on the website, whether it's $39.99, $49.99, or $59.99. Whatever the price is the lowest possible price. You might as well consider that distributor prices, because there's never going to come a time where Pokemon Center just gets a ton of these ETBs, floods the market, and then starts doing fire sales where they start dropping the prices, because there will still be a ton of demand, at least for the near term, for a lot of these products. So that's something to keep in mind, that these products go against the norm for what people's, entry points are, at least price-wise. The floor for a lot of these products, in my opinion, is whatever that MSRP price was from Pokemon Center. And that's just something at least to keep in mind. And that, again, like I said, it goes against that grain. But I'm still starting to see people really get frustrated that the prices are not retracing as much as they were hoping. And I think a lot of that is going to revolve around like a lot of the prices for graded cards. But we're in this huge gray area now, right? And the reason why we're in this huge gray area is because The argument against modern is that when the flood of graded cards come back, they're going to all be modern cards. The huge problem we have right now is the prices for grading does not make a lot of these modern sets worth grading, with the exception of maybe 1, 2, 3 cards depending on the set. You look at celebrations, realistically, how many cards are worth it to send at PSA's $150 grading fees? Yeah, maybe you can make the argument for the Charizard. Maybe you can make the argument for the Umbreon Gold Star. Other than that, it would be pretty hard to make the argument for any other cards. So there's only 2 cards in that set. Now, this brings up another question too, is are people grading cards to flip those cards? Or are people grading those cards to make them part of your collection? Because if you are going to grade those cards strictly to have them be part of your collection, then you would have more incentive to just wait for grading fees to drop even lower, because you don't care about spending $150. So it's strictly just like a flipping mindset. Now, are we going to see a ton of celebration cards eventually hit the graded market given enough time? Yeah, but there's just not a lot of great options out there. And really, what is the other cheap option? Probably, well, first of all, Beckett's not really accepting cards except for at high tier. So your cheapest tier option is CGC bulk tier at $15. And if you want to do subgrades, you got to add $10. That's $25 a card. Right now, CGC's bulk tier is probably looking between a year and a half to 2 years. That's how long it's going to take to get your cards back. So these super modern sets, you look at Celebrations, you look at Evolving Skies, you look at Chillin' Rain, and you could look at a lot of probably Battle Styles. Those 4 sets, the most modern sets, are not going to be heavily graded. Yes, the chase cards will. But we're already seeing the chase cards in like Evolving Skies continue at PSA 10 prices to hold very high, strong prices. The market, guys, is not really working for a lot of the conversations people want to have when it's the uncertainty of the market. It's going against the grain for every argument people are trying to put up. And that just brings up the question, well, how long will all this take to work itself out? And a lot of people, like I said, were saying after Celebrations we were going to see a big drop in the market. But if like this grading doesn't happen, if Pokemon continues to pump out like awesome banger sets, it's probably going to be less and less likely for that huge dip to happen. And the problem is people still have a ton of money in this hobby. And I'm hearing people bring up like very strange arguments when it comes to the reason why, the Pokemon hobby will drop, as if stimulus money is ran out. And I've heard conversations about like other external factors that people's bills might not really be as high as they will in a couple months, and like weird stuff. But I just have to be very clear to you. What I'm seeing, the type of buying pressure I'm seeing, doesn't really relate to a lot of those arguments. And the big argument being the stimulus check money and all this. Listen, first of all, if people are spending as much money as I think they're spending, they were probably above that $150,000 household threshold to even get the stimulus check. And then even if they were under that threshold and they actually did get a stimulus check, the amount of money people are continuing to spend on this hobby, there's no way there's any stimulus check money left. There's no way. When you look at these ultra premium collections selling at $119 at MSRP, I mean, how is it possible that people can continue this buying pressure? When I go on eBay, and I very, very rarely pick up graded cards because I personally like to try my best to pick up near mint copies, grade them myself. Yes, the hobby right now is definitely not really being helpful when it comes to that because of how hard it is to grade cards and the prices you have to spend. But even graded cards are continuing to hold what I consider very strong prices. Have we seen a ton of stuff retrace? Yes. And I think the big argument there is now this is where price memory is maybe again still hurting me, because I have found out that price memory constantly hurts me. But I'm still seeing cards at higher prices than I ever seen them at before. I could say right now, when it comes to uncertainty of the market, especially when it comes to uncertainty of modern, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing right now, and that's picking up exclusives products at MSRP. And that's really the only good advice I could give you. If you are that worried about what's going on with the market, this eventual crash that's going to happen, this eventual mass printing of product, listen, I don't know when it's going to happen, but my God, demand is still strong. I'm seeing so many people post restock photos on Instagram and restock photos on Twitter of their Targets and Walmarts, and they have a ton of Celebrations product just overflowing off the shelves, and those are the photos that go viral. Listen, since Celebrations was released, I've gone to Walmart, Target, GameStop, and they've all been sold out. Not a single product on one shelf. So I don't know. I don't know where like these photos are coming from, but at least where I am locally, and again, I can only talk about me because this is where I am locally, there's still a ton of demand. And this demand is still so high, the fact that Celebrations could sell out in a day, one day, just means that when we do eventually see this retrace happen, at first, in order for it to start the retrace, we need to start to see products sit on the shelves for any sort of long period of time. And when I say a long period of time, is we need to start seeing product sit on the shelf for at least a week, or at least sit on the shelves between restocks, meaning the distributor goes in there, they stock the shelves. When they come back, whether it's 5 days or a week from then, and they go to restock that shelf, that product that they stocked on that shelf a week ago is still there. And we're not there yet. Now, I don't know when this is going to happen. And I understand all the conversations about the uncertainty. But I would never tell people to just go out and buy a ton of modern product. But I'm afraid that there is a potential now that people can really start to miss the boat on a lot of this sort of different exclusive products. Because if they don't really get the huge reprints where everybody's expecting, these products could end up being relatively limited. And limited being a huge open book, word of what limited could mean when they're producing and printing an absolute ton of this stuff. But it can be limited with this thought in mind, that if the demand outweighs the supply, they will still be limited. When we consider limited supply is totally up for conversation. It's totally subjective, especially in this market. But if demand continues to be strong, and if the actual true demand is super organic, people that have re-entered the hobby, people continuing to enter the hobby, if they are in fact staying at rates way higher than anybody predicted, who knows where the market's going to continue to go, especially in the very near term. And I'm going to have to push my timeline out by months now. I thought we were going to see a drop right after Celebrations. I take that back. I thought we would see a drop maybe after the holiday season. I take that back. And the reason why is because if Pokemon is seeing these products that are in super high demand, these more premium type products, I do not see them, shying away from these type of premium products. They're just going to keep pumping them out. Because really, the profit margins for a lot of these products are probably higher than anything else. And, like I said earlier in the video, the Jolteon, Flareon, and Vaporeon special collection boxes, those things are going to come out in a couple months, and they're going to be in super high demand. And I guarantee you that we're not going to be able to just go on Pokemon Center and say, do I want to buy this or do I not want to buy this? No, it's going to be, you go on Pokemon Center, it's going to be a race to buy those things before they all sell out and they're out of stock. And those come out in December. So, who knows what's going to happen? And really, we don't know what's going to happen after Fusion Strike. there's tons of uncertainty there too. It's a crazy time in the hobby, guys. Maybe we'll make another video like this in a couple months and we'll try reassess where we are in the market. Maybe we'll make another one in around December on the same topic. But right now, it's not slowing down. At least I'm not seeing it slow down. I want to know your guys' thoughts. Are you seeing it slow down? But other than that, I'll catch you guys on the next video.